Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone to our second Poetry Month open mic event. And today we have some really amazing poets to share their original work and a couple of folks that are going to share some works by other authors as well. And so we are going to dive right in and dig right into that poetry because we need some word snacks this afternoon. And so we are going to go ahead and get started with Miss Beyonce McGill. She is a proud graduate of Jordan High School, and she's going to share her original poem with us today called I Believe. Beyonce?
I believe in the ability to show emotions without words, the beauty behind the complex artwork portraying the soul, the sweet notes of music, the hills open wounds and fill the heart and ears. But I believe that the idea of one's mind can become powerless is insane. I believe that love is true, but certainly dangerous. I believe that with faith, anything is possible. I believe in Langston's huge montage of a dream deferred. And I believe in a drained, helpless, cheerful, bright, brave story behind the eyes.
Thank you. Thank you, Beyonce. Our next poet is Dr. Linda Tagorian, and this is known as prose poetry. It's a combination of poetic lyrics within standard writing, such as paragraphs, with some punctuations. Prose poetry does not always follow the rules of writing, so don't look for it, but rather the lyrical creativity of the poet. Dr. Linda Tagorian, the DPS interim coordinator of secondary programs and a secondary science specialist, will now share with us her prose poetry.
Thank you. And I'm honored to share a poem by Jay Anthem, who is a naturalist like myself, and I just somebody whose message really speaks to me. So this poem is called Wild Wishes Beyond Widgets. Real world means inside obligations to tend to, widget making, deadlines pressing, bills always due. More and more, four walls feels like a trap, a cage with no escape. Not being out, not wandering somewhere wild seems sinful. There's wonderful I'm not witnessing. Some bird or beast flies or creeps by as I stare into someone else's expectational chasm. It's an expanse I'm increasingly unwilling to span. A new sun warms in brilliant hues. The same tiring orb sinks into the abysmal blue. When that coming and going cycles absent my firsthand witness, I'm squandering time. If wildness is a wish, then I'm rubbing the lamp hard for a million more wandering moments.
Thank you, Dr. Linda Tagorian.
And our next poet today is Shanice Jackman. She is a proud student at Jordan High School here in Durham Public Schools. And she is going to share an original poem with us today called A Letter to My Friends. Shanice?
A letter to my friends. I am hurt, I am destroyed, and I am weak. The factories have caged in my land. They caged in the air I breathe. I am choking. I am choking when I say my very limbs are stiff, and they are shattering under all this hate, under all this pain you give me. I am dying. I am dying when I tell you I cannot produce life. I cannot produce apple green leaves and fresh ripe fruit, or small little sprouts to grow to the size like me. My tears are maple when I cry for my brothers and sisters who have died at your very hands. I am sorry. I'm sorry that your land mattered more than our lives. I'm sorry I couldn't produce enough paper to fill your greedy needs. I'm sorry that my home and my body was too far in the way of what you call home. Do my roots bother you? Do my limbs make you angry and boil in rage? Do my sprouts make you want to rip them out and trim to your perfection? Does my length and height upset you? That when you find me in packets at a store, what do you think of me then? When you collect my seeds and leave me out to dry, do you think I will grow? When I sit on the sidewalks begging for water, do you walk by without noticing? Do you think of me when the world turns against me? When I finally have had enough and created a wildfire that burns your homes, your villages, your buildings you speak so highly about, do you become scared? When I am fed and watered and loved and begin to bloom great flowers, do you smell me? I make you smile. That when I drop a flower above your head for you to keep, do you step on it? That when I greet every person I see under me, do you turn your head to see me and smile? A busy schedule you may all have with your big suitcases, your heavy coats, and your coffee in hand. I make the paper so you can flourish in your worlds. I make the bottle the coffee is in. I make the lid you drink out of. I make the air you breathe so you continue to live each day. I make the spoons, the plates, the knives, and the table. I make the flowers bloom. I make fall, summer, spring, and winter. I make the leaves fall, and I make the blossoms bloom. Do you notice me now? Do you see my story, my path, and my struggles? Do you see my life, my story, and who I am? I am a friend of many friends. I am a friend of two lovers when they share a mistletoe kiss on Christmas Day. I am a child's best friend when they want to play below me and carve initials in me. I am everyone's friend. And yet, when I have faced such challenges, I will continue to be your friend, your best friend, in your memories. But all I ask is please don't forget what I've done. Please remember me. P.S. Tree.
Thank you, Shanice. Our next poet couldn't be here with us today. His name is Dr. D. Kelvin Bullock. He is the DPS Executive Director of Equity Affairs, but he did share a video of one of his poems that I'll share with us here today. And this is called America's Game.
This is America's game. I pick up my bat and I take a swing for the fence. Nothing but broken glass grounds out in my residence. But maybe now my cry will be heard. You see, I learned this game from history. We spent centuries in the outfield. Thought that inning was over, but Jim Crow had to bat still. There were a lot of runs scored. In my team, we tried to play catch up. But the rules of the game and fairness never seemed to quite match up. You see, we fought for civil rights so that we could share that diamond. But racism continued to knock them out the park while we were in the back, wall climbing. Fast forward to the 80s and what appeared to be free bases, but that was just a trap for those trying to run in those races. I mean, of course we were called out. That free base was never safe. Sometimes we were baited to steal, and that's just a chance that we take. Now, I'm not justifying jacking, but all teams are robbing, son. I'm just saying call it fair in this game we've begun. So often when my people get their chance to bat, they get tossed wild pitches which make contact with their bodies. And if there's even the question that we might charge the mound, then any force is justified in bringing us down to the ground. We can't let this slide, not with error after error after error after error. Our team can be stepping up to bunt and people are nervous with terror. Pitchers throw ball after ball just hoping that we'll walk, but too often we don't make it home. I'm calling time out for a talk so we can change this whole game, recreate the whole structure. One where Black Lives Matter and there's respect for the other. Wow. Change. Respect. Are they really on deck? Do the fans in the stands even want to see that? Just check our entertainment, how our team is viewed. Our pitches have to have some curves or at least be screwed. But this fastball has no bad call, it's right in your strike zone. Get off the pine, put it on the line, and maybe you can hike home. The important thing in this sort of dream and this mid must fit is we may have short stops and score drops, but we will not quit. You know, I think we thought this game was over, but we're just entering the stretch. Civil rights, that was the warm-up. We ain't seen nothing yet. And I know some people say we're good. I really see no need to complain. But we can't rest on this quest until we change this game. So my question to each and every one of you is, how will you step up to the plate?
And I want to thank Dr. Bullock for sharing that
This
poem with us.
is America's Game.
There it goes again. I'd like to thank Dr. Bullock for sharing that poem with us. I'm a little speechless after watching it again. I do want to thank our participants today. Dr. Hattie Hammonds of Hillside High School, Dr. Linda Tagurian of Curriculum and Instruction Department. But I really do want to give a special thanks for their willingness to share and be vulnerable with us today, to Beyonce McGill and Shanice Jackman, our graduate and student poets today. So you get all the snaps from us today. I want to give a special thank you to Beyonce in gratitude for you sharing your voice with us and the whole DPS community. You will receive a copy of Amanda Gorman's book, The Hill We Climb, of her inaugural poem for the country. I also have one for Shanice. She shared with us last week. I just haven't made it to bring it to her house for no contact drop off yet. But it's so important that you were willing to share your voices with us today so that our community and our students can see how much poetry can mean to us on a daily basis. And that doesn't matter if you're a student in one of our schools, a graduate, or an educator, poetry can make a difference in your life. Thank you for joining us today.